Hello friends, and welcome back to the Mothership. It is hunting season once again, which means I'm going to need a whole bunch of snacks to be out there in the woods and for hunting camp. That being said, today we are smoking up our very own teriyaki beef and venison snack sticks. Let's get started. Now for this recipe, we can kind of go with whatever meat you want. Traditionally it's what? Beef. Sometimes people put pork in these snack sticks, not really often. Usually it's beef or game meat. In our case today, I am going to use this beef that I got on sale, and then some venison that was in the bottom of my freezer from last year. Now, when you're looking for ratios, you're looking for anywhere between 70-30 and 90-10. So since I'm using a decent amount of venison, I'm gonna go try and get closer to that 70-30. But like an 80-20 is probably ideal. So I'm going to use this top round, which is about 3.5 pounds, 2 pounds of venison that I already have broken up. And then I have a whole bunch of brisket trimmings, and I'm just going to supplement with fat to get to the ratio that I'm looking for. Brisket in general is probably the perfect ratio. So if you just have a bunch of brisket trimmings lying around, that's actually pretty close to 70-30. Pork shoulder is also kind of close to that ratio that we're looking for. But just like when we're doing sausage, guys, the goal here is to cut it into strips that will fit through your grinder. So about that will probably fit through mine. And then we're going to get all of our meat onto a tray, kind of have it separated as much as possible, and then throw it in the freezer and take it just to that point right before it freezes solid. And that's the point that we want to actually grind it. So we're going to get all this done and then get to grinding. Okay, so since we're using a couple different types of meat, the name of the game here is to kind of mix it up as it goes through the grinder. So I've got our brisket fat, our beef, our venison, and then if you look at the recipe down below, I'm using ginger and garlic, so I'm gonna kind of disperse that in. We're gonna do 2 grinds through here on my smaller plate. Let's get done. Alrighty, 10 pounds of meat. Now it's time to mix in our ingredients. Now for mixing, standard sausage rules apply. I'm going to start by adding in any of the dry ingredients, which in our case is going to be the brown sugar, our pink salt numero uno, and then this mirin, which isn't really a dry, but it's close enough. Now, as we're going through here, we're going to be adding in the soy sauce. I'm not sure we'll use all of the soy sauce here, or we might end up needing more. I'm gonna use it as more as my liquid. So once it starts to get a little too sticky, I'll add some more soy sauce in. But I know off the bat, we're going to need a decent amount of this. So I'm gonna pour half of it in first. Then we'll just begin mixing and reassess as we get everything mixed together a little bit more. Basically, I just take everything and roll it into itself like so. Do this over and over and over again until we get to the consistency and the texture that we're looking for. Now it is absolutely possible to overwork as well as underwork our mixture here. What I'm looking for is for it to stick and then kind of fall off cleanly, which it actually seems to be doing. Maybe a little bit more. See how it kind of stuck to my hand there? And then it comes off, there's a little more residue. That means I want a little more moisture. I want it to stick initially and then come right off in one clump. I don't want it to be little pieces remaining on my gloves. So, like I said, keep adding in soy sauce since that's our moisture. This is a great time to wear gloves with liners, guys, because this meat mixture is cold. Perfect. See that? Hold it. It's definitely sticky, but it comes off with nothing attached. Perfect. All right, this is where I want it. You can see the fat is definitely starting to smear a little bit. Any further and we might do some damage to our final product and the consistency we're looking for in these snack sticks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and put it in the fridge. Now, many times I would put it into the sausage stuffer and let it sit there to kind of come back together. But this amount of meat is actually bigger than my stuffer, so I want to let it kind of get into its final form like this, and then we'll transfer it into the sausage stuffer in 2 batches. So into the fridge we go with this. Let it do its thing, and then we'll come back and stuff this sucker. Now that the meat has rested nicely, it's time to stuff these suckers. So I'm just going to fill up my stuffer. I'm going to have to do a couple batches. This is a 5-pound stuffer, and I have about 10 pounds of meat. So I'm going to have to do this in 2 waves, but everything's mixed together, so same process, just twice. And we got to get our collagen casing here, and just find the opening. Get it onto the horn, and then you know the drill. Do stuff that makes you want to giggle incessantly like me. And then it's the same as with every sausage. We're just gonna fill it up. I usually actually wait till it gets to the very end here, and then I tie it off. So, kind of fill it up a little bit. Just to get as much air out of there as you can. And then I'm going to twist this one nice and tight. You can tie it with actual string or a zip tie, doesn't matter. And we are just gonna slowly fill them up. Now, as far as linking these, there's a couple different ways to do it. You could kind of just cook it off just like this, and then cut them into pieces when you cut them into sections that you want, or you can link them like a sausage, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to take, however long I want, which is probably about this, pinch it off a little bit here, twister, like so, twisting away from me. Find the next amount, which is like, kind of like that, pinch this off, and then do the one after it, kind of like right here, and then twist away from me again. So I'm always twisting away from me, and I'm doing every other one. Perfect. So that's one section. Now I'm just going to repeat this again for the rest of my meat, which is probably going to take me a while, just judging by how long this one took. All right, everything is nice and cased up. I kind of gave up on linking some of these. I just rolled them up. What I'm going to do now is get the smoker running at 180 degrees, get them onto their respective racks, and throw them onto the smoker. Honestly, if you put them in a circular shape like this in one long strand, they might be a little bit more bent. They're not going to be the straight, stick that you're looking for. But you can cut them to the size you want because they will congeal. So it's not really necessary to link them up unless you really want to have, your perfectly portioned sizes. But I got lazy, and I'm going to do a little bit of both. So we're going to throw these onto the smoker once it comes up to temp at 180 degrees. All right, everything is now on the smoker. Like I said, 180 degrees. Ideally, everything would not be touching. We would be hanging it, but I don't have the space for this. So this is how it's going to have to run. Not touching means that they'll get more even smoke across them. Obviously, that would be ideal, but this will be just fine. We're cooking these probably to about 155-ish, somewhere in there. You can go further, you can go less since they are cured. But I'm looking for about 155, 165, which is probably going to be a couple hours at this temperature. Just let them do their thing, absorb as much smoke, get that nice bloom in there that we're looking for, and these will be good to go. We are about 3 hours into this cook at 180 degrees, and these are starting to get close. We're probing about 160. I'm taking these to the full 165. That should make sure that the meat's a little bit firmer than if you pulled it like 140. So I'm going to 165, take them off, and then they're going to go directly into the next step, which is the ice bath. Now, as each section of our snack sticks gets to that between 150 and 165 point, and they're nice and firm, and I think they're ready to go, I'm taking them off, throwing them directly into an ice bath to stop the cooking completely. Then I'm going to take them out, dry them off completely, and put them into the fridge on a wire rack to continue drying out the exterior. If you notice the ears are kind of mushy, which these don't seem to be, what you can actually do is put them back onto the smoker or dehydrator and just keep pulling out that moisture from them. But these are ready to eat at this point. It's really just about getting the consistency that you're looking for. Now, we really don't want to bring them hotter because that'll start to melt the fat. You'll have what's called a fat out, which we don't want. Basically, we just want to get any of the excess moisture in there pulled out. So if they're a little too mushy for you, throw them back on the smoker at this point, bring them up to about 150, then keep repeating that over and over as many times as you like. Now, after spending a couple hours in the fridge on a wire rack, these are ready to go. They have completely dried off. They're nice and firm. If you want to see what we're looking like, they have nice color to them, nice and firm, delicious looking. But most importantly, how do they taste? And I am starving, and it's ready to give one a chomp. They have a really good snap to them. That's from the casing. But the meat mixture is really, really good. They have a great taste to them. It's not overly sweet. It's not overly salty. It's definitely on the sweeter side, but it is a teriyaki style. It's really, really good, guys. I'm sure these are going to be a huge hit up at hunting camp. And you know what? I always need to have a couple of these in my pack when I'm walking around because I get hungry out there. Usually I'm doing either beef jerky or snack sticks, and this time around I chose snack sticks. But you know what, if I get lucky out there, probably gonna do some jerky real soon also. Guys, if you're interested in making some snacks that's gonna last for a very long time without needing to refrigerate, these are a good choice. I highly recommend giving them a try. If you guys do end up giving this a try, please let me know your thoughts down below. And as always, let me know what you guys are cooking, and if you have a recipe that you really like, if you like making snack sticks or jerky, let me know down below. As always, guys, like, comment, subscribe, all of that YouTube jazz. And most importantly, if you're a hunter, get out there in the woods and good luck. Otherwise, I'll catch you guys next time on the UFO Barbecue.